more than capital. I think capital is also important, and then product is also important. But I think the most important thing in business is people.
Hey guys, welcome to the UpNext podcast, where we are interviewing teen entrepreneurs that are making it big time in the startup world. We are asking the questions we know you want to hear. UpNext is an app made for teens where anyone can join or build a real life startup. Today we have Sankarsh Chanda, age 22, from India. The company that he has founded is called Savart. It's a platform that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning technology to help you make smart stock investments in India and abroad. You founded this company when you were 18. I am currently 25 and I do not know how to invest in anything. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Is there anything you'd like to add?
I think you covered it all. First of all, thanks for having me. Then I look forward to having a great conversation today.
Great, me too. So you found yourself with this really great platform. How did you know that your product would work? How did you know people are looking for something like this?
Um, yeah, to begin with, there's never a clarity when we start, right? So it's just the vision that is, say, moderately clear on what we want to do. And then the rest is always something that I take step by step. So a lot of people think there's that one aha moment when you know that, this is a life-changing idea. That never happened to me. I mean, I started investing myself, then I ran out of money to invest. So I wanted a source of money that could satiate my appetite for more and more investments, right? So I had more ideas and fell short of money. So that's when I thought, okay, let me work with advisory. And then as I delved deeper into that subject, I got to know about asset management and that stuff. And that's how the idea of Savart was born. So it was not the initial intent to build a financial service brand or an investment service brand and then working backwards, not that way. So it's something that came up step by step, and we took a lot of on ground feedback from people, and then we built it based on that. So I think that's a better way to define it.
Yeah, I like that. I like the realistic answer that you needed something, you were
Yeah.
looking for a solution, and it turns out that a bunch of people were looking for it too.
Yeah.
So who would you consider your first mentor, and what did they help you go through?
Great. So I had my mentor, Mr. Ajay Batra, so who I had met at my university. So he was the director for the incubator, the startup incubator within our university.
Mhm.
So I think his work was instrumental in our success so far. And because one, he brought me in line with the on ground realities, right? So I always wanted to have a high tech product, and then it was more of a say idea driven progress that I was trying to make.
Mhm.
But he came in and added that flavor of the customer's requirements to be matched. So I think otherwise I would have gone in a very different direction from what we have done. So, and from there on, whether it's capital, whether it's the network, helping me build my network, I think my mentor was very instrumental in helping all of this up.
Yeah, so he was more of the, like, seeing how customers react
Yeah.
and having that whole side.
Yes.
That's a really
Absolutely.
important side. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy that you had someone to show that path.
Yep,
Um,
exactly. So somebody would have told me that 3 4 years back, before all this happened, do you need a mentor? I would have straight said no. But now that I know the importance of that, I'd say yes any day.
yeah, we always learn from new people, so that's great.
Yes, yes.
How much time did it take for you to build the product that you launched?
So again, this is a very continuous thing, but I think the first version of the product
Yeah.
took me around 9 months, I guess, 9 to 10 months to build. Again, it's not the first version wasn't that cutting edge, or it wasn't that great that it should have actually taken 10 months. I think it was a 3 4 month project. But then, given that I had no technological understanding, or that wasn't my subject, finance was something that I was trying to understand and do.
Mhm.
So that's the reason it took a lot of time. But then after that, I think the second version came up in 6 months, and the third version and fourth version took 3, 4, 6 months, not more than that. So I think now we are in a fifth version, I guess, that we are currently using.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's really important that you said that there's a first, second, third version.
Yes.
Like people don't just upload and that's where it ends.
No,
Not at all.
no, that's exactly what I used to think early on, that I'll make one product and it's going to be perfect, and then customers are going to love it, and then that's going to be all of it.
Yeah.
But then I realized that if perfect product doesn't exist,
Mhm.
right? So you'll keep chasing it forever. Like I'd see a new feature with some other platform, I'd come back to my team and said, I want that as well. I want that, this, that. It never ends,
Yeah.
basically.
There's always something new to add. So
Yes.
it's good that you keep bettering yourself.
Yes, yes, that's important.
And for the first version that you launched, how did you pay for the production of it?
Yep. Again, interesting question. I didn't have all the capital that I obviously needed to get the entire product done. So I got, I think, my first check from my mentor, the first investment that I got. It didn't cover all the expenses that we had, including the technology cost. So I brokered a deal with the outsourcing company whom we gave the first project for developing that first version, actually. So I said, I'll give you an X% stake in the company, and the company that day was nothing, right? So there's no revenue, there's no product, and the product was actually being built by them. So they said, no, 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 that's not how it kind of works. You need to pay us in cash. So I said, fine, let's do a little in cash and a little in stake. And then they asked, what's the stake worth? I said, I don't know. It's not worth anything today, but we assigned it a notional or a virtual value, I could call it. And I think it was a very good deal for them in hindsight now. So they have done very well with their stake as well. So it was a mix of cash and equity. And I think it was there was a lot of luck involved as well, because not many vendors or outsourcing companies would accept a stake in exchange for work, right?
Yeah.
So I think
That's
that was
actually
lucky.
that's great. That's really creative. I like the fact that our viewers can hear of an option that's not like,
Yeah,
I don't know, I asked my parents, they gave me money, whatever.
yeah, yeah. Not as conventional. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
very innovative as well, but it does the trick.
very original.
Yeah.
How did you get those first users and customers? What was that like?
So the most initial customers, I think, say the top 20, 30 customers were all like friends and then known people, right? So the first degree connections, that you can call them. And I think after that we got published, or I think we got mentioned in a few online magazines or some websites. Primarily the subject of interest was my age, for most of them.
Yeah.
uh, so that blew up at that point of time, and I think after that we never looked back for and we never marketed ourselves for customers. I think the only marketing that we did, I think, was for the first 25, 30 customers, when we had to really go and pitch and everything. I
Mhm.
think after then on, I think we never did a lot of marketing at all.
That
Well,
really shows a successful platform. That's one of the things that you can tell, that if you didn't have to advertise yourself and
yeah.
people kept coming on, I mean, that's like the best sign you can ask
Yes,
for.
yes. I mean, it necessarily may not be a long-term strategy. We want to advertise as well, but then you're partly right. I mean, it shows the strength of the product as well. That's true,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, of
Uh,
course, at some point there will be advertisements.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's
Because
rare,
I
but
mean, there's so many fantastic products out there, right? And then they don't speak for themselves. So we'll have to market it. And there's a lot of enterprise solutions and software that we're working on now for investment research automation. So we'll have to advertise them.
yeah.
We just can't wait.
Yeah. So you just started answering actually my next question. I think, tell me if I'm wrong. What
Yeah.
is the next goal that you're aiming for?
I think so that the two things that I'm working on, just for your information, one is Savart, and then this another company that this I and another I co-founded. I'm not the only founder there. This is
Mhm.
an aerospace company. to be specific. So with Savart, our goals are, there's something called Vantage, right, that we are working on. So Vantage is our enterprise investment research automation platform. So
Mhm.
that's three engines: quantitative, qualitative, and behavioral research. And so it's an AI and ML driven system that helps automate investment research for equity and debt, for domestic as well as international investment. So we are currently deploying, I think, the third version of that for internal purpose, where uh, algorithms and our systems, which is Vantage, is going to make more and more decisions by itself over time. And the reliance on human analysts would be, say, not eliminated but reduced to a lot of extent. And and in terms of Starder, which is the aerospace company that we are doing, so we have certain missions planned. We have a patent that we've got for one of the aerospace vehicle, in fact, that we have built. So in the next 5 years, we want to have missions to be carried out to maybe Mars and maybe Moon. Is
Oh
something
my
that we're
God,
working
you're
on.
like
Yeah.
the Indian Elon Musk.
Not so much. We haven't even had our first mission yet. So we are on track to do that. Maybe in 2024. That's the earliest when we'd be having our mission.
Well, it's in your head, you know what I mean? Like entrepreneurs, they think you're already in 2024. Like if it's up to you, like you're already there.
Yeah.
I think that's a mindset that a lot of entrepreneurs, without noticing it, they all have that mindset. They're
Yeah.
all in the future already.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see how those goals turn out. It sounds very promising. Okay, so if you could talk to your past self, just starting out,
Mm-hmm.
what mistake did you make that you would warn your future self?
Mm-hmm. I think the first one would be to be more careful with the kind of people we take into the company. I think more than capital, I think capital is also important, and then product is also important. But I think the most important thing in business is people.
Mhm.
So I didn't invest a lot of time and even money on finding the right people. So, and there we lost a lot of time, and then we lost a lot of capital as well. So when you lose time, you automatically lose money as well.
Right.
So I would that would be the first warning I'd give myself. So I'd tell myself to be patient and then invest on better people,
Mhm.
right? And if possible, the best people.
Yeah. If we can know beforehand, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to do that. I mean, it would be really good to do that, but I think investment not just means paying well, right? It also means aligning them to our vision, our looking at a culture fit,
Right.
and then ensuring that they feel important within the company, and then they have a very engaging role every day. So I think there's many small things that add up to that word investment. So it should not be taken just as a, yeah, you pay well and then you get good people. I don't think it's as simple as that.
Yeah. You're actually, again, answering pretty much the next question, like getting close to it. I also like the fact that you put in the culture fit. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people talk about that. And it really is important to know your crowd, like who you're talking to.
Yes.
Um, what are three traits that you look for in a business partner slash co-founder type?
uh sure. So I initially for Savart, I didn't I briefly searched, but I didn't put too much time into that, because I knew that the way I thought and the mindset that I carried at that point of time may not be the most compatible. So if I even today I don't have enough clarity on what I need in a co-founder or what they need in me, but in terms of a team member, I think I can answer that question on what traits that I would say. First is the ability to learn and adapt, right? So we never focus on education, and then even experience. There some parts of the team where experience does matter, and then we specify, but now I'm learning that even experience doesn't matter. It's the ability to learn. So you're coming from some other subject, doesn't matter, you can just come, adapt and learn and get it done. So I think that's the first one. Again, adaptability is also very important, because many opinions and perspectives and the learning that you do, you may have to unlearn it, you have to change it, I
Mhm.
think that's something that I value a lot, at least after 3 4 years with Savart. I think that I've understood that. And second is the alignment with the long term vision of the company. So again, it's not very reasonable to expect everybody would be as motivated as me for my company, right? So that used to be my initial assumption. Why are they not working on Sundays? Then why are they taking holidays? So that's very unreasonable thinking to have. So I've worked with myself and come somewhere in between. I'm still unreasonable in terms of what I expect, but then better than what I was in the past. So I think that alignment. So once they are excited enough by that vision, uh, it works out. So that's the second thing. And third thing, I don't the so many small things, these two stand out for me. But in terms of three, I would say how they interact and how compatible they are with the other team members as well. So there are many people who are good at working individually but not so much at team. So especially with our aerospace company, I think teamwork is very 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 important. At least in Savard, like within certain divisions you have siloed things, but not at starter. So I think teamwork is also something that uh, we value a lot.
Yeah, teamwork isn't one that I usually hear in the traits, and I really do agree that you need to be a team player.
Yeah.
More so, I hear a lot that they need to work with me, in this case you, better at some kind of level, but it's not only you, like just like you said,
Yes.
there's a whole crew. And I like the fact that you said that you still feel like you're unreasonable. The fact that you think that
Yeah.
makes you a lot more reasonable than you think.
Maybe.
So we discussed earlier, how you got the name out, and the fact that you're so young is something that really helped the PR. So could you tell me one advantage and one disadvantage of being such a young entrepreneur?
I think advantage was I get the first attention, right? So whether I'm in a meeting, whether I'm in a conference or in person, it's on a different level. I even look much younger than 18 even today. So when I have a very the way I'm built is I look like still look like a very small kid, especially when I go to a conference or somewhere. So in person, it's the ultimate attention that you could get. It's all about how we need to leverage that to for the company's growth, right? So I think that's the advantage that I got. Disadvantage, I don't see much, but then there's a lot of that ego and things that people carry, right? So I have to be very mindful of the way I talk and then the way I convey my displeasure as well at most
Mhm.
times. So it the say the communication is generally not taken at its merit in terms of the context. It's
Mhm.
like see a kid is ruling over me, and that kind of an attitude is
Yeah.
sometimes I find that with some people I work with. So I'm still a little mindful of that, but not enough maybe still. So that's I think a small
Funny, 'cause
disadvantage. Yeah.
you're the younger one in this case, like talking
Yes.
to other
Yes.
people, and you're saying that you need to be mindful. And
Yeah.
being mindful is, it's such a mature thing to say, like noticing how I'm speaking. And as you said, there are people that are like 2 3 times your age that
Yeah.
aren't noticing how they're speaking because you're young. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really, it's like a cycle. We all need to
Yeah.
pay attention to
Yes.
it. I like that answer.
Yes.
Um, so what is a tech tool, like an app or a website, something that you can't go without? You always need it, you use it all the time.
um I think okay, it could be any app you're saying about any
Anyway,
application.
yep.
Okay, I think until a few days ago it was WhatsApp. I mean, I think most widely used. But then I have a deadline for this month end, so I'm getting out of WhatsApp. So I'm struggling to get out of it. Technically, I've got so used to it,
Oh yeah,
and
I
then
live on it.
yeah, and then a very close second would be Skype, which we use for all our business communication. So
Yeah.
I think that's. But apart from say communication apart,
Mhm.
I think YouTube is something that I use a lot, and
Yeah.
that's it. I think,
Has
yeah.
YouTube like helped you business wise?
No, it helps me killing time wise.
It's
So
just
uh,
good.
just some random videos, especially pranks and funny videos, the gags videos, and so I think that's what I'm addicted to a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which entrepreneurs would you say inspire you the most these days? Who do you have your eye on?
Yeah, I think I've been asked this a lot, so I haven't ever been able to give a right answer, because I think there's some things that I like and some that I dislike everywhere.
Yeah.
So in with every person. So and when I say that, hey, I want to be like a certain person, or say I draw inspiration, then suddenly then some the feeling kicks in within me that, hey, you need to do something different, think about yourself, think doing something differently. So I learn from it, but I think I've copied things and then drawn inspiration from a lot of people, not one or two, but then I try to add some creativity so that there's some fun involved, I think. So I can't name a single person, but I think I've learned from hundreds of people, maybe more than that.
Well, that's impressive. I'd like to give credit to all of them.
Yeah.
So which trait do you feel is your weakest and you need to outsource it, maybe with, another employee or maybe a tech platform that does it for you?
Mm-hmm. I think people, like I said, like that earlier question that you asked, I
Mhm,
think finding people has been my the right kind of people has not been a part of my strengths, definitely.
mhm,
So I think I should delegate it to somebody, but then again, I feel it's very important, so I should do it myself. So I'm in that confusion at the moment.
yeah,
And yeah, I think that's number one. Everything else I think I can manage. I'm not good at that, but so I can get it done. But
yeah.
getting the right people, I don't think I've hit the right spot yet.
Maybe, yeah, maybe like a second opinion is what you need. Someone objective.
Yes, 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 exactly. And
Mhm,
yeah, that could help.
yeah. So let's say I am an average teenager looking to build my startup, and all I have is $100. What or where or how would you tell me to invest this money in?
Okay. So you're saying from an investor perspective or from a entrepreneur, like starting up? So from
From
what
like
perspective are
from
you?
your perspective, with the
Okay.
knowledge you have.
Okay. So I'd if I had those $100, I straight open my trading account, and then I have, say, a million ideas that I could put my money in, where I know it would go to, say, 10,000, or say maybe $100,000 in the future. At least I feel that way. So there's thousands of such brilliant companies around the world where I would park my money in. But if on the other hand, you said, like, if you wanted to start up
Yeah.
and do something by ourselves,
Mhm.
so I think I would first shun that perspective of money to begin with. So capital is just one of the tools, right, on where you want to get to. So it's too overrated also in a lot of perspectives, that you don't have money, you can't start up. I don't think so. I mean, it capital is necessary, but it's not the only necessity.
Right.
So uh, you need to change your perspective, and then look at uh, what's your vision, what's your product, what kind of customers want it, or they may not want it today, they'll want it tomorrow, right? So I am not just there's a lot of people who believe you shouldn't do something because there are no customers for it, but that's not true. Maybe you're ahead of the customers, even that's fine.
Mhm.
So they might need you 10 years down the line, but you need to survive until then. That's important. So I think $100, if investor, I told you there's 1,000 ideas. If I'm starting up, I wouldn't think about it, because there's not much you could do with just $100 to when you're starting up, at least. So I would look at other sources
Mhm.
of getting my capital.
Okay, great. Nice answer. Usually people tell me don't touch the $100 and start building. Think about the $100 later. So I like
Yeah.
that you went the other way and you're like, no, find someone with more than $100. Um,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
so last two questions.
Yeah.
how important do you think it is for young entrepreneurs to think about social change when they're creating a business?
Yeah, I think whenever it's a forced change or a forced thoughtfulness, like whenever the thought is forced upon, I don't think it works.
Mhm.
So it must be a natural consequence of what we are doing, right? So there's been so many times that I have forcefully thought and then tried to align our business model in terms of how it adds value to the community and from a social responsibility perspective, but it has never worked out that way. When you're doing what you're doing honestly and transparently and efficiently, I think that's one service that you're doing good anyways.
Mhm.
Second, as you run your business and as you go through the daily operations and you look at all aspects of the business, you will get many innovative and creative ideas over time where you can add value to the community. I think it should be natural, and it's something that is very important because it's not just for the ratings right now, the ESG things and how sharp is your ESG score is what a lot of corporates get asked today, especially in Wall Street and everywhere. So it's not just for the rating. Again, it shouldn't be what do you say, subjugated just to a number. It's something that should come from within, and I think that is also going to add a lot of value to our business as well. So a lot of people think look at social change and spending on community as an expense, but in reality it actually adds value back to your business in some or the other way. And I think Mr. Richard Branson has a beautiful book on that. I forgot its name, I just went through it, on how doing good can actually be good for your business. So
Mhm.
there were a lot of beautiful examples in that, and so I recommend everybody to read, all the young entrepreneurs to read it.
Well, that sounds great. I usually when I ask this question, I think to myself, unless the platform is something that was meant to do social change,
Yeah.
then the social change itself
Yeah.
will come naturally at some point. You will find out how you can do
Yes.
well, on your own.
Yep.
So I strongly agree. Last question.
Yeah.
If you could have any superpower in the world, what would you pick?
Mm, any superpower? I think space travel, maybe fly through the vacuum in space, and then interstellar or intergalactic travel. I'd love to go to the space. Right,
That's a
that's
really specific power. Usually it's like teleportation or like just flying, but this is like
yeah.
flying in space.
Yes, I mean I'm okay with flying, but and teleportation as well. It reduces the travel time. I mean
I'll take what I can get.
anything that takes me into the outer space, right?
Yeah.
So I think that excites me.
Yeah. That's a really cool one. So just like breathe in space like that and get
Yeah,
there whenever. Yeah. I like that.
exactly.
Um, so, Sankash, it was great getting to know you and your product. It's so original and it's helping so many people. The day that I want to start investing, I know where to go. And
Yeah,
I can't wait to see what you do next. I hope we can have another talk soon.
absolutely. And it was a pleasure talking to you as well. And thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.